That's me. You may have wondered how I ended up in this situation. Well, first off, as you may have seen from my other videos, my name is Max McCulloch and I'm a 20-year-old mountain biker from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. So last year was my first year of taking enduro racing pretty seriously, and I did decently well enough to get an entry in the 2019 Enduro World Series. So I thought it was kind of the perfect time to give professional racing a shot. Well, I talked to my main sponsor from 2018, Felt Bicycles, and they are on board to support me for the 2019 season. And along with some of my own cash and the support of other sponsors, I was able to commit to 6 of the 8 Enduro World Series stops, with the goal of getting into the top 25. Long story short, I put in a ton of work in the off season, and I headed off to Rotorua, New Zealand for the first stop of the series. And normally I'd say I'm a pretty conservative rider. I don't take too many risks, and I wouldn't say I crash too often. But unfortunately that wasn't the case for Rotorua, New Zealand. I really wanted to make my sponsors happy and achieve my goal, so I was pushing a little bit above where I should have. And unfortunately, I detonated myself on the first day of practice, which sucked. As you can see from the video, or you may not have noticed, right when I took off on the triple, mid-air my rear tire hit a tree, and that managed to deflect me straight into another tree at a very high speed. And unfortunately, I managed to get 2 fractures in my wrist and 1 in my hand, which stopped me from racing, and I also couldn't compete in the next week's round in Derby, Tasmania.
That was a bad idea.
Other than not being able to race, losing my baggage for a few days, and almost not getting on my flight because of my cast, it was still an amazing trip. Obviously, they're amazing places, and I was also able to get some video, as you can see. But the main thing I took away from it was seeing what goes into these EWS racers, how the top guys prep, and how they ride throughout the day. It was a learning experience, to say the least. Well, now I'm back in Canada with hopefully only a few more weeks in the cast. And also I forgot to say is massive thanks to everyone that commented on my other videos and on social media, wishing me healing vibes and keep my head up, because it sucked and I was feeling pretty bad while I was down there, at least for a few days after I crashed, and that really helped. So thanks. Okay, back on track. So my goal for this year was a top 25 in the EWS, and I knew that wasn't going to be easy, but I definitely think it's attainable. Last year in Whistler, while I was racing the U21 race, my overall time would have put me, I think, as 44th in Pro Men, and my best stage would have been 22nd in Pro Men. I have a background in XC, so I'm pretty good at the pedally stages, as well as, based on where I grew up, I'm good at flowy and slow tech, which is a funny combination. Where I struggle a little bit is the long sustained descents that are really steep. And there was a few points at the Whistler EWS last year where I couldn't quite hold on at the bottom of the stages, just from arm fatigue. But as you can see, I've been hitting the gym pretty hard and hopefully upgrading my twig arms to maybe a branch level. I don't know how I came up with that. So now I thought this was a really good time to start documenting my journey of this season. And since my injury, I've been getting a lot of recovery in, Zwifting, in the gym, drinking plenty of Rumble, so I think I'll be back and strong in no time. Now I know, don't get too excited and ride like a madman, because the only place that takes you is into trees, apparently. And really what I noticed down in Tasmania and Rotorua is those top guys, they're not riding at their limit the whole day. They're riding very smooth and very consistent. They are riding fast, but they gotta hold that speed over the whole day, which is sometimes 40 minutes of racing. And what I really noticed with the top guys is they look like they're going slower than everyone else because they're just so smooth. And slower than everyone else still means insanely fast. So this is what my season looks like for the rest of the year. I'll be racing the France EWS, Italy EWS, North Star EWS, Whistler EWS, also our Canadian National Series here on the West Coast, and our local Island Cup Series, which is amazing, by the way. As I go through the season and work towards my top 25 goal, I'll be documenting everything on here. And yes, I realize there's the Privateer Series on Pink Bike, and no, I'm definitely not trying to compete with that, because how would I do that? It's amazing. This is more just of a journal, seeing my progress throughout the year and seeing how far I can get. I'm not a huge fan of YouTube clickbait and weird thumbnails, so I promise none of that. You will never guess what happens in the next video.